Touche, it's Gabby back again. Today I think I'm going to go through a box of nickels and see what we can find. Hopefully we can find something good in there. My contractor is back today, so while I'm talking you might hear some banging or some drilling or something. But we'll see what we can find. I came across this nickel. There's nothing really special about a 1981, except that it's getting to where that's pretty old, and that is just like in amazing condition, and you can still see the stairs on the Monticello. And so I think I am just going to carefully just go ahead and put this in a 2x2 and just keep it for posterity's sake, because that's awfully nice. Normally I don't think about the newer ones, newer than 1959, but this one, I think it just caught my eye, and I'm going to keep it. The very next row, I find a 1987 that is, I think, better condition than the 81, and looks like it's got the full Monticello stairs even, and you just don't see that very often. I tell you, I think this coin would come in at somewhere between a 65 and a 67. It is just that nice. And I feel like I just better save this. I don't really look for these a lot of times, but when I come to this coin, I can tell that it's super nice. And I'm thinking maybe, is this a chance for the 2024? And it turns out to be from the 80s. And so I am going to keep, I've already put this one in a 2x2, and I think I'm going to do the same thing with this one. If I find a dozen more this nice, I'm just going to keep them, because it's just, they're old enough, I think, that they're worth keeping them in this type of condition. Who knows? If I ever get to grading anything, I might consider these guys. I'm at the end of my fourth roll, and I saw 1959. It's a D. And then just like two coins later, I saw 1950. And it is Philadelphia. So these are the first two of my hoard, I guess you'll say, because I save everything from 59 and older, that I just roll them up. I'll put like a roll from the 50s, a roll from the 40s, and then even a roll from 38, 39. Obviously, I don't get as many of them. I'm now in the sixth row, and I find my first one from the 40s. This one's a 1946. It's a Philadelphia. The last row, I also found a 58. We're certainly looking for the 2024s. They're still going for pretty good money. If I find quite a few, I'll definitely sell some. But if I just find, I have found one, I've got it put away. And I'd like to keep a few, but I'd love to find a bunch of them and sell a few of them, because I like making money too. Oh, look at there. 1941. Cool. Philadelphia. I just keep stacking the old nickels away. I've got quite a few. I thought of something that you all might get a kick out of. After we married, after a couple of years, at first we wasn't crazy about having children, because our experience in our young years, being with other friends and stuff that had kids, it's like, that's miserable. I guess they didn't discipline or something. And it was like, oh my God. In fact, before I got married to my current wife, I dated a girl, and she had a little boy, and he hit me in the head with a can of soup one day. It's like, yeah, I don't want that. But then we went and visited a couple in Colorado that had two kids, and they were just great. I'll tell you more in the next row. Okay, next row. Anyway, we spent a couple weeks with our friends in Colorado, and just had enjoyed, being around there. There was a little bitty kids, but they were just pleasant to be around. And so on our way home from Colorado, we're like, hey, I think we could do that. So it wasn't long until we had a little boy, and 13 months later we had another. And then a couple of years went by, and oh, there's a 57. And we said, we weren't making a fortune or nothing. I never made a fortune. And we said two's probably enough. So we talked about it and discussed it, and we decided that my wife was going to get her tubes tied. And so we made our appointment, and we were at the hospital. I think they'd even set up an IV in her arm or something, and they just hemmed and hawed. We're like, what is your people's problem? And they wasn't saying much, and finally, after a pretty long while, the doctor came in. We're like, what's going on? He said, well, here's the deal. You're pregnant. And for about 5 seconds, I was frustrated. It's like, this isn't what we planned. But then it's like, hey, that's okay. We're going to have another child. And to my wife's super pleasure, happiness, it was a little girl. And so we have 2 boys and a girl, which is pretty cool. And my middle son happens to be here now. He is still asleep because he works 3rd shift, and he misses out on so much sleep during the week. When he comes here, he sleeps half the time, and we just let him. Our grandson is here, and we won't let him wake him up. He mopes around. I want to wake my dad up. Right at the end of the 9th row, a 1946. I also put the other, the 87, in a flip. That is a fine looking coin, I tell you. And the 46 is a Denver. The only 2024 I found did have 2023s, and this one has a lot of 2023s, so maybe they'll slip one in there. Here in the 10th row is another 1946. This one's Denver. Today is December 14th, and I am in charge of my late cousin's estate, and it is in probate, and it is up December 19th, and so in a few more days I can contact the lawyer and we can proceed to try to get everything finished up. I'll be glad. Oh, there's a 1940. I'll be glad to have all that done. Cool. Philadelphia, 1940. Well, we're finding a few old ones anyway. 1957, there's another one. Denver. I've got now my pennies. I have 270 pounds of copper put away. And I was telling my wife, if nothing else, it's just a savings, even if I had to sell it at face value, which I don't. But, there's over $750 there. And that's cool. Just emergency money, if nothing else. This is my 14th roll, and this is a 1951. When I laid them out, I saw the color of it. I thought that looks like an older one, but it looked like it could have had the color of those special ones from 42 to 45, but it was not that. I did find in the couple rolls back a couple more from the 50s, but I was hoping I might have found a silver here, but no such luck. 16th row, and here is a 1949. It'd be great if if it were an S semi-key date. It is. How cool. 49S semi-key date. Says right there. Cool beans. Well, that's fun. Oh, look at that. His top of his head is, well, the top of the coin above his head is damaged a bit, but that's still fun to find. The last roll, I found a 54. Pretty neat. I go through half dollars, and I've got a couple boxes of brand new 2024s. And a guy wrote to me that a few months ago, I had a couple boxes of new ones, and I put on Facebook before they kicked me off, just saying that I had half dollars that I was just selling at face value. I just wanted to get, I knew that some people like to collect them, and so I put them up there, and I let people come and get some. And the guy wrote to me, goes, you got any more of these? And I wrote back a minute ago and said, well, I got a box of 2024s, and he wants some, so I'm going to save them for him for whenever he's ready. And then I had another old buddy of mine from years ago that bought a box of them. So I just asked him if he wants any 2024s. Haven't heard from him yet. But yeah, Facebook is funny. I see other people selling coins sometimes, but I have a few times put things on there and they've kicked me off and said, we don't do coins on Facebook Marketplace. It's quite frustrating and it's very silly if you ask me, but that's the way it is. The second nickel into the 18th roll, and I find a 1940 nickel, Philadelphia. I'm finding a pretty good handful of these older ones, I guess. Um, my we watch a lot of British shows, and when my son comes down, I had introduced him to a series called Foyle's War, and so whenever he comes down, we watch the next episode or two, and he's really enjoying it. It's a really good series. I think it's great. Michael Kitchen is the lead guy. He was actually in an old James Bond movie. I can't remember which one it was. But I've seen him in other shows where I didn't much care for those shows. But it's like this role was just absolutely made for him in Foyle's War. But anyway, the episode we were watching last night, a bomb from World War II, a bomb fell and went through the ceiling of a factory storage unit, and it didn't go off. And they called in a unit to get the pin out of it or something, And my grandson, he's 8 years old, he goes, "What kind of bomb is that?" And I said, "Oh, that's a left Lam C500." And they looked at me like, "What in the world?" I was watching several months ago the Detectorist show, British show. I love it. It's so funny. But the head of the little detector club was out metal detecting, and he actually set off an old bomb in the ground. And as they discussed it in the episode, he didn't kill himself. He broke a leg, but he luckily didn't kill himself. But the one of the main characters who knows all these little tidbits about everything was saying, "Yeah, he set off a Luftwaffe C500 bomb." I couldn't resist. I just came across this 65. That's quite nice. It is. It's a nice looking coin. Not a lot of wear, but in these not real older, but not real old coins, for me, if I want to save them for just because they're just in absolutely fantastic condition, I check the back to see the stairs on the Monticello, and if you can't see a couple of the stairs, then I usually don't bother. In this one, the stairs are just gone, so I won't keep that one. I just wanted to mention that the stairs in all the coins I've looked up, the stairs seem to be a pretty important thing when people are grading these nickels. So that's just my opinion, and that's what I've come across. You do what suits you. I am now in the 21st row, and here's another 1940. I'm finding a pretty good handful of these older coins that I will tuck away in my collecting hoard that I like to call it. I'm not being successful with a 2024, sadly. I may never find another one for that matter. Oh my goodness. Ah, look at that. How about a date? Yes, 1937. Fantastic. Well, that's cool. Oh, what is that? There's a mint mark there. I'd say that's a D. How about that, folks? That's neat. 1937 D. Fun finding those. Well, it's really worn around that edge, ain't it? Golly. Those are fun to find. These are some really cool old nickels. And that is one wild looking head on that buffalo, I've always thought. It's like, I think they've got that pattern after somebody. I really do. I ought to read a little bit more about it. Anyway, we found it's a buffalo head nickel. That is so cool. And there's my 1940. All right. Anything else in here? When I see the really shiny ones, it's like, is that one the 2024? Not this roll. Well, I guess I found another one I'll keep. This one is 87. And can you see the stairs? I hope you can see that. Let me see. They're there. Maybe they're not perfect. But it's another one of those that's in just really, really fine condition. I'll hang on to it. Well, several hours later, and now we're into the Home Alone 2 in the other room. And here's a 1941. This is my fourth row into the second half. I had already found a couple of other from the 50s prior to this. It is a 41 Philadelphia. I've seen the Home Alone several times, but this was, I don't know if I've ever seen Home Alone 2. The scene where he records the uncle in the shower, first time I ever saw it. So I'll get back in there in a minute and see if maybe I've never even seen the movie. I don't know. No, I think it may be my first. The very next row, and here I am, 1948. My grandson, by the way, is sick on the couch. He's got a temperature of like 101. Apparently, he came here with the bug and it just hit him overnight. Nobody in my household has been sick anytime recently. So, and my son didn't feel like eating nothing we had, so he ran to fetch us some Chinese food. So we'll be having that in a few minutes. He got the General's chicken. My wife got chicken with garlic sauce, and I got Kung Pao chicken. I have come to the 14th row in the second half, and here is a 1941. A few rows back, I did find a 1956 as well. This is a Philadelphia. Well, I watched Home Alone 2 with the guys, my wife, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it. I remember seeing the bird lady in a skit. It's pretty nice, but not quite. See, there's no stairs on the Monticello. So I guess somewhere along the way I had seen a couple bits and fragments, but I didn't know the storyline. I didn't know that he was lost in New York while his family was in Florida. Sorry about that. That was I gave it away there, but I'd never seen it. I have come across several 1999s, in fact, that look amazing, and the steps are on the Monticello even. I don't know if that's old enough to mess with, but somebody must have turned in some rolls that had never been opened before or something. It has been several of them. I've just bypassed them, but it's awfully nice condition. A few little scratches from being tossed around in a sorter, I guess. Boy, it's an awful clear face there. I don't know. I may stick this one aside too. With just 5 rows to go in the box, I just opened this row. I think, again, this is the second coin in the row. And I come to a 1947. No hide nor hair of the 2024. I tell you, I keep an eye open a little bit on other people's channels and whatnot, and several people, then people that are writing to me. So, what's that? I thought that's what I saw there. That's 2. What is that one? Oh, what is that? Is that a 26 or a 28? Man, I can't quite tell. I think it's a 6. Wow, that's cool. That's 2 in one box. That's neat. This one seems to be a Philadelphia. I believe that's a 6, 1926. How cool. That's 2 of those in one box. And there are people finding 2024s. And I've had somebody just a couple nights ago say that they had found 2 or 3 in one box. And they are eluding me, I tell you. I would sure get a kick out of finding a few of them. And of course, you all know I'd love to get a kick out of finding another silver. I collected coins as a kid, and somewhere along the way, I don't remember when. Oh, well, okay, that was. I guess I got rid of them. I don't even remember, but 10, 12 so years ago, I started getting back into silver again, and so that led me back into hanging on to other coins as well. But my really thing was looking for silver, and that's one of the things that got me back into nickels. And then, but my collecting heart, I don't know. I just started keeping the older ones just because I like them. Oh, there's another older one there, a 46. Why can't it be 45? Philadelphia. But one of these days, Lord willing, I will get a 2024. It'd be really cool if I came across it while I was going through a row with you guys. 4 rows to go and another 1946. Philadelphia. Man, that's quite a few of those. It's Saturday after dark evening. I'm song leader tomorrow. I am not a what would you say, a studier of music, or I don't read. I can follow the chords. I can follow the music, but I can't really read it. 1949, cool. But I can lead. I can start songs, and I can carry a tune and all that stuff. And there's not very many men that do that where I go, so I volunteered to do it. I don't mind doing it. Oh my goodness, folks. 2 rows to go, and I got the 1945. How about that? That's in good shape, ain't it? Wow, that is. 1945, wartime silver, 35% silver. We got one. That's so cool. So we got a silver and 2 buffaloes. There's another 87 that looks awfully nice. Oh, I see it. All the steps, I believe. I don't think this one is quite as pristine as the other one, but that is awfully nice. I'm going to keep this one too. Well, that's pretty neat. Indeed. Wow, I feel pretty tickled to get that. I got the silver and 2 buffaloes, and some really, and a good handful of older ones, plus a couple that are just in super nice condition. Well, I have finished the box. There's all the returns of the last 2 rows. I got 2 more from the late 50s. couple of the really nice ones that I don't have in the flips yet. I got the 50s, the 40s. That is the semi-key date. 2 Buffalo nickels. Both one has a good date, one of them is kind of readable, and my silver. So no 2024, but not a bad box. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.